What price could ICP hypothetically reach in 2025? Well, in today's video, I'm going to take a look at a most bullish case scenario, even though nothing I say is financial advice. And I could very well see ICP reaching $500, at least in theory. Now, some people may first of all be wondering, okay, why 2025 more specifically? Why not 2036 or something like that? Now, here's the thing. The way to take a look at it is that I feel like that's way too long. Not to mention, I don't think this is too crazy because usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, typically speaking, they usually peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, again, this is as a worst case scenario. Now, the last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year, so 18 months from then would actually mean around October this year. Now, is this a surefire thing? Is this a surefire date? Absolutely not. But the way to take a look at it is that even though Bitcoin had a pretty good recovery with a slight pullback as of right now, I feel like this is a great sign. Imagine once Bitcoin goes back to the price of $100,000 and the sentiments really change in a massive way. Let's say it goes to $150,000, $200,000, and ultimately speaking, $300,000 is my price prediction for Bitcoin during this bull run. Yeah, I just don't see why ICP at the price of $500 would be too much to ask for. Keep in mind again, even Charles Hoskinson, who is the co-founder of Ethereum and also the founder of Cardano, we all know that, right? But here's the thing. Back in November of last year, he did say that 1 to 2 years from then, so that's a best case scenario, again, a year. But even besides that, 1 to 2 years from then, he said that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So we can only imagine that. Imagine if, let's say, Bitcoin reaches his worst case price prediction for Bitcoin, let's say $250,000 in November this year. Even at that point, I'm like, oh man, ICP could maybe do very amazing. Not to mention that November timeline kind of fits in line with what I talked about before, or should I say what I talked about before in terms of when usually altcoins peak as a worst case scenario, historically speaking. I think 2025 could be a very special year. Now, granted, it's not guaranteed, but I'm going to still pay attention anyways because I think this year could maybe be very amazing. Now, first of all, if we take a look at ICP at the price of $500, it's not even too crazy because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $266 billion. I mean, come on, we've seen Ethereum reach around $550 billion in market cap back in 2021, a time where there was way less crypto owners actually than as of right now. Let's just take this into consideration. During the peak of the 2021 bull run, around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million crypto owners according to Crypto.com research. And keep in mind, Bitcoin hasn't reached even $150,000 yet, and we have this many crypto owners already. Imagine once Bitcoin goes to 150,000, let's say 200,000, 250,000, and maybe even beyond, to let's say 300,000. Maybe 7 or 800 million crypto owners? I don't see why not. That wouldn't really surprise me whatsoever. If we have over 600 million right now, when the market isn't doing the best, imagine once it does do maybe the best for this cycle. 800 million crypto owners? I really wouldn't find that too surprising. Now, here's the thing. Again, if Ethereum could reach around $550 billion in terms of market cap back then, this time around ICP at around a $266 billion market cap, which I get it is around a 96x from here, it wouldn't seem that crazy. Because even though I have nothing against Ethereum, I don't think it's, this bad layer 1 blockchain, I don't think so. But I just kind of feel like the internet computer has several advantages over it that makes it more, I would say, appetizing, especially in this time. Because here's the thing. The internet computer, for $1 worth of smart contract data on it, allegedly I can get over 200 million bytes, whereas on Ethereum, for the same price, around 44 bytes. So that right there, could you imagine the cost savings? Not to mention, we take a look at the average cost per instruction on the internet computer is allegedly over 40 million times less expensive than Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's not bad because even though the internet computer has all these advantages in terms of price and in terms of arguably, I would say, a bunch of other factors, it doesn't have the fans, it doesn't have the dedication in terms of the, attention and whatnot when compared to something like Ethereum. So, of course, Ethereum, despite the drawbacks and having to kind of rely on these Ethereum layer 2s to kind of fix that type of stuff, even despite that, still Ethereum, I think, as of right now, arguably is just a much more dynamic place to be for developers. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be that way moving forward. Now, is the internet computer going to gain mass scale attention in the next 6 to 12 months in terms of the adoption? Probably not, but it doesn't really matter because What people care about this is story, they care about the narrative, they care about the attention. And I think when they see something like the internet computer, this could maybe gain a lot of attention during a fully fledged bull run. Now, only time will tell, but if you also take a look at the internet computer, it's allegedly trying to decentralize the internet, which I get it is a grand vision, but you know what? You aim somewhere, or should I say we aim for the moon and then we land somewhere along the stars, or however the saying goes. But you know what? It's a good saying and I do like that. And I think that if anything showcases that the internet computer has grand ambitions. They know that, hey, you know what? Sometimes we set the bar high, we might never reach it. But if we set the bar low to begin with and we only achieve 50% of that, it's not good, right? So let's say like this, for example. Let's say I run a marathon. Or let me just give another example. Let's say I have a target to run 100 miles and I achieve 50% of that. Now, I still ran 50 miles as opposed to if, let's say, I only set my target at 50 miles and I ran half of that, that's only 25 miles. So imagine that, right? But even besides that, that's the kind of concept that I think the internet computer has, not to mention, or should I say in terms of the mindset. Now, again, not to mention the internet computer can allegedly connect Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles, which is a total game changer because if we take a look at something like Chainlink, which, it's very well known for its decentralized Oracle network. Now, an Oracle is basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, aka off-chain data, and brings that data over into the blockchain. It may seem a little bit boring. People may be wondering, okay, why would you even need to do that? It's because this is done to help decentralized applications function properly. So again, we take a look at all the decentralized applications that we like. A lot of them, arguably, I would say, without this off-chain data, they can't function properly. So of course, it's very crucial. Now imagine Chainlink has so much hype and attention, basically being focused on oracles. But can you imagine, again, the internet computer? It can quite essentially bypass that whole process, connecting Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles. Can you imagine that? That's a total game changer. Could the internet computer make Chainlink obsolete? Probably not. Chainlink has too much fans, too much adoption, but still, the fact that the internet computer can even do that to begin with, that says something in my opinion. And it's only a time will tell type of situation. I can only control what I can control. And now, some people like to tell me, why don't you pull up a price chart of ICP, draw some random triangles, start drawing, let's say, I don't know, some random stuff and say, oh yeah, this is when things are going to do this. Well, here's the thing. No matter what I draw on the price chart, it's not going to do anything really. I mean, just think about it, right? If I draw some random triangles on a price chart for ICP, the market does not care what I draw. It's going to do what it's going to do. The only thing I can control is just accumulating more, holding and just waiting. That's it. I mean, it's really that simple for me. And that's why I'm not giving up. I'm only going to control things that I can control. And as of right now, I'm just going to stay patient because $500 for ICP wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And I'm not giving up. And 2025, seeing that hypothetically happen, let's say near the end this year, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Believe the Captain. And I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.